let's take a look at a technique that I use in a few of the songs coming up, and one that I use quite a bit. The idea is to hit an open G string or open D string, and at the same time, if I'm playing an open G string, hit a note on the D string and bend it up to another note on the D string so that eventually we hear both the open G and the note I've bent up to on the D string ringing to create a chord, two-note chord, a dyad, to establish a tonality. You know how much I like to do that. Of course, in doing this, we really need to be very conscious of keeping our fingers really curved, because if you want to bend the note on the D string and also keep the open G stroke ringing, you're going to have to make sure that your finger is out of the way and to let that G string ring all the time. Now, the most common way to do this is to play your open G and to finger an F sharp on the 4th fret of your D string, and then I'm going to bend that F sharp up to a G. Takes a little bit of strength. So I usually use my middle finger for it. So you can see bending from F sharp up to G, but what does it sound like if we have the open G going as well? You know, it gives you that a little bit out of tune, a little bit out of phase, doubling of notes, the way they can be if you're tapping the same note in two positions. So it gives it a nice sound. Again, boy, this is another knuckle buster, so take your time, depending on what gauge of strings you play. Now, the interesting thing you can do with this is that you can use this to outline all sorts of chords. Let's say in the song we're going to be playing in a minute, the first example where I use this is a song called The Book of Lies, from an album I did called, oh yeah, The Book of Lies. The song is in E minor. So E minor on the D string would be E minor, E, G, D, and E. So I could bend the F sharp up to the G to have the minor third of E. I could bend the B flat up to the B natural, and the notes I'd have would be E, G, and B flat, which would make a minor triad. I could bend it up to the octave. Now, if I think of, here we go, now pretend we're in the key of C, but I think if the G is the 5th, then I could bend that C, I could bend a B natural up to the C to get the root, the E flat up to the E, or up to the G, or way up to the octave C. And of course, if we're in the key of G, we could bend up, say we're in G minor, we could bend the A up to a B flat. Ow! When you're practicing this, again, I'm going to repeat myself here, don't work too hard to try to get it all in one day. Now that you understand this concept, you can work a little bit every day maybe at it to build up the strength. But that is a nice, like I said, sort of out of phase, slightly out of tune, doubling of a note that gives a very nice effect, especially when you pop it. We're going to take a look at a song that uses that, but this is a technique I use a lot. I hope that you find some use for it as well.